Hey guys, this is Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews, and today we are going to talk about the Stryde bike. Now, as I was reading about this bike, I kept coming up with the question, is this bike a worthy opponent to something like the NordicTrack S22i or the Peloton bike? Today we are going to talk all about the technology, the features, and how it stacks up to the other bikes on the market. The Stryde bike has a built-in touchscreen. It's going to offer you basically an indoor cycling experience similar to what you would take at any sort of boutique studio cycling experience not in your home. Now, this thing is heavy duty. It is welded coated powder steel. I mean, there is basically no plastic components on this bike. It also, because of that fact, is heavier at 125 pounds. In terms of space, I mean, it takes up basically what you would find a typical exercise bike take up, so about 4 feet by 2 feet in floor space. The way this bike works is through magnetic resistance. This is a much preferred option to friction resistance, in my opinion, because it's not going to wear out over time. With friction resistance, it does have a tendency to burn out. You have to do regular maintenance checkups on that. With magnetic resistance, that's not the case. The other thing about this bike is it has 100 levels of micro adjustable resistance. So whatever you want to do, it's really customizable to you, your workout, and your goals. Like most exercise bikes that come with a touchscreen, you do have the option to take on-demand classes. Now, it's not just on-demand classes that come with the Stryde app, but you also have access to things like strength training, Pilates, and other classes like that. One thing I really like about this bike is that you're not only able to utilize the Stryde app, but you're also able to utilize other fitness apps. So things like Peloton, SoulCycle, iFit. Basically, you name it, you're able to use those apps on the Stryde bike. Before we dig into more specifics about this Stryde bike, go ahead, subscribe to our channel so you can continue to see me and all things fitness. We have lots of supplement reviews, nutrition reviews, and some strength training reviews, which I am psyched about, coming your way. Also, if you're interested in purchasing this bike, go ahead. We've placed a link below the like button, making it really easy for you to be able to do that. When you do use those links, it gives us a small commission, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. Also, last of note, before we get into more of the specifics about this bike was sent to us by the company. As always, it's not going to change what I say about it. My honest opinion, I'll always tell you what I like and what I don't like. So let's get into it. Now, this is an expensive bike costing almost $1,900, $1,895 to be exact. That is up there with the Peloton Bike Plus or the NordicTrack S22i, so not a budget-friendly option in terms of exercise bikes. And I don't think this bike is right for everybody. However, I do think it is right for very specific people. The people that I think that this bike would be a really good fit for are those that are interested in using multiple apps. So again, if you want to access SoulCycle, iFit, Peloton, obviously you have to subscribe and pay for those apps ahead of time. But unlike NordicTrack S22i, where you're only able to access the iFit programming, that isn't the case with the Stryde bike. So you are actually able to access all of those apps and use them in conjunction with the Stryde bike. Now, one other thing is Stryde does have its own app that you're also able to utilize, so you have a lot of options going into this bike. The other person that I think this bike is good for is somebody who is looking for a heavy-duty, super sturdy machine. I mean, again, this thing weighs 125 pounds and is basically all welded steel. So this thing is durable. You're not going to have to worry about any sort of plastic components burning out, breaking. Throw all the rocks at it that you want, because this baby is not breaking down. Another type of group that I think that this bike would be a really good fit for are those who have a lot of people wanting to use this bike. So it's able to use a lot of different profiles, so different people can set different profiles, different settings to exactly what they want. And so I think it would be good for somebody who has a lot of people wanting to ride and wanting to utilize this bike. With the Stryde bike, if you don't want to jump on a class at the time, you can go ahead and just use free ride. It displays a nice scenic view of a guy riding through the woods, which is much preferred option to when you do like a manual ride on the Peloton or the S22i and you just basically see a white screen with your metrics displayed. I'm always going to prefer pretending to ride in the woods versus riding on a blank piece of paper. One major call out that I do have to this bike, and I am not sure if it applies to the iFit programming or if it's the speakers in general. While I was taking their class, and I was taking the Teenage Angst class, which, I mean, what other class would you want to take if that's an option? But while I was taking this class, I wasn't able to hear the instructors over the music. Like, honestly, I kind of had to strain my ears ear to figure out what they were telling me to do and what they were saying. The music was great, the selection was great, and the sound came through clear, but the instructor's voice was not loud enough for me to really hear it very well. Now, with the Stryde app, you do have access to on-demand classes. However, you don't have access to any sort of live classes. That is something that I hope that Stryde offers in the future, but at this time, that's unavailable. But again, you can access other apps. And not only can you use the other apps like the Peloton, but you can go ahead, enter yourself into the leaderboard on those apps, which if you are competitive like me, you're going to appreciate. Another thing that I really enjoy is, this is really feature and technology heavy, just again, with the ability to access all those apps, but not only fitness apps, but you can go ahead, download Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, watch the new Zombies 3 movie on Disney+. Let me know if you like it, because honestly, the songs on it are banger, and it's one of my favorites to watch with my kids. But you have the ability to access all those apps, all those streaming devices, which I just think makes it for a lot more enjoyable ride. The monitor is a 21.5 HD touchscreen. I did feel like it displayed clear graphics as I was watching it. All the colors came through really nicely. The other thing about this bike is that the seat adjusts 4 ways. So whether you want to adjust forward or backwards or upwards or downwards, you are able to do that. The other thing I like about this bike is you are able to adjust the handlebars. So you're not able to adjust them forwards and backwards, but you are able to adjust them up and down just to find a better riding position for you. Also, in terms of the comfortability of the handlebars and of the seat, they were so-so. They're nothing to write home about. Most exercise seat bikes are not anything great, and the handlebars, they were covered with like a dense foam, so they were comfortable. They didn't create sweat as I was riding, but overall not the most comfortable handlebars and not the most comfortable seat I've ever used. In terms of conveniences, this does come with dual water bottle holders. It also comes with a place to set your dumbbells. However, with your purchase of this bike, dumbbells are not included. So with the S22i, you do have dumbbells included with that. These you will have to go out, buy on your own. It does have the ability to connect through Bluetooth and through Wi-Fi. Another call out that I have is I think this warranty is just whack. Like really, most of the time with an exercise bike, especially something closer to that $2,000 mark, we see at least 10 years on the frame, a couple years, maybe 2 to 5 years on parts, maybe 1 year to 90 days on labor, something of that nature. With this bike, it is 12 months on all parts. So really, it falls short. I wish that for a $2,000 machine, just about, that the warranty would be a lot better. If you want to go ahead and purchase this bike, but you don't want to pay the $2,000 all up front, Stryde does offer financing options. You can split it up into different ways. They have like 6 months, 12 months, 36 months, available for installment, and you can find that option when you go through the checkout process. If you decide that after 30 days, the Stryde bike is just not right for you, you are able to return it for free, but you are on the hook for shipping and handling costs. In terms of assembly, this is overall one of the easier assembly processes that we've had. Basically, the main frame comes in. All you have to do is attach the screen and the legs. Most of the time, I would say it is important to have a second person to help with the assembly process, but in this case, I really do think that one person would be able to do it just fine on their own. If you are a serious cyclist and you are looking for a bike to stimulate what that road biking experience is going to look like, I don't know if I think that this is a good fit. I do think there are better options out there. However, if you are just an avid fitness enthusiast, if you are an avid cyclist and you like those boutique studio cycle experiences, I think this would be a good fit. And the main reason I say that is because of the access to multiple apps. So whether or not you want to try the Peloton, whether or not you want to try the iFit, you don't have to be stuck into one bike with one app. You have a variety of apps available to you, and I think that is the main selling point of this bike. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think the access to multiple apps is a big enough selling point to pay almost $2,000 for an exercise bike? Let us know below. This has been Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews, and we'll see you back here next time. Peace.